What's up, guys? Today we're coming at you with a discussion video on our level 8 odd odds options. So let's jump into this video and let's see what we're coming at you with. A lot of you guys have asked me questions, about, how to get Phantasm, where can we get Phantasm, is Lancer or Advanced better than Phantasm? Are they good options? This is something, in my opinion, it's all up to personal preference. But, a lot of you too have also told me, especially the Euro cats, they've been like, we don't have Phantasm over here because it's not been released. And this is something that really pains me because, Konami's killing us, with the release dates of how they do some of these cards. But let's jump into this. Let's talk about each one of them, their perks, their advantages, things like that. And, how they'll work for the deck and pluses that they'll make for the deck and how some of them hinder the deck. So the first one we'll talk about is our 8's Advanced Dragon. This was just recently released. It is a good card. Don't get me wrong, guys. 8's Advanced is a very good card. If this was a few years ago, when Monarchs were around, things like that, to build a pure version of 8's, this card is very, very good. The fact that this card, can be tribute summoned with a level 5 or higher monster is very easily very good. Also, too, when it's tribute summoned, to be able to destroy a monster your opponent controls and do burn damage equal that attack, and that's a very good effect. That's something that's field clearance, and that's something that you want to do. Also, too, if the card destroys a monster by battle, it's going to be able to reborn a 8's card, which a level 5 or higher monster from your hand or graveyard, which is very useful, can help you go into some really good plays. The problem with this card is, for the way the game is played right now, this card is very slow. Yes, you can search this with Melody Awakening Dragon. That's going to be a very good plus for it. But the fact is, it is an effect monster in the Pendulum deck. It's very, very, it's counterproductive. And that's something that, in my opinion, is very hard to play this card. It makes it hard to run this card. Next, what we got is our 8's Lancer Dragon. 8's Lancer Dragon is a very, very good card. It meets the requirements, but it's lacked on requirements of being able to play it for Melody of Awakening Dragon. This card is very good in the aspect that, it makes it so that your opponent's going to have a hard time destroying your 8's Pendulum cards. Also, too, if you decide to attack, your opponent's not going to be able to activate the spell and magic cards. And that's something that, is very, very detrimental to your opponent, and it's going to be very good for you. You can really go in for that OTK push. Another thing that makes this card, so that it's very hard to run it, is the fact that it is an effect monster. That still is one of the things that make it hard to run this card and to be able to make it so that it's viable to run it. The best thing that you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to have your 8's arc in the pendulum scale, and whenever you decide to pop, either with Electromite, that's the same thing with all of them. Any of the level 8s, that's the way you want to bring it out. Pop it with Electromite or Sky Iris or some way, shape, or form, and to be able to special summon him straight out off of his effect. And that's something that, like I said, being an effect monster, that still hinders it because it's going to go to the graveyard. Once it's in there, you can still bring it back with Arc Pendulum when one of the other 8's is destroyed, but you don't have as much access to it as you would want to. Now, the last one we're going to talk about is our 8's Phantasm Dragon. Now, this guy, in my opinion, is the best level 8 that you can get for the 8's monsters. The fact that you can discard a card, target one of your face-up Pendulum monsters in your extra deck, add it to your hand. That, to me, is like Oath Dragon for 8's. That is a very good effect. It's a scale 0, so that helps to, if you decide to run the Perform Power 8's Unicorn, things like that, it's not going to be stuck in the extra deck. And that was one of the problems that you had with 8's Unicorn. Those level 1 monsters, they can still come out. For his monster effect, if you have 2 cards in the Pendulum Zone and a face-up 8's card, you can pretty much summon this card from the hand. And that could be very useful to you depending on the situation that you're in. If your opponent somehow locks you out of your pin summoning or something like that in some way, shape, or form, or you're worried about going for a big pin summon and that they have like something like a warning, something like that, you could drop this on them, and that could make them use up that warning. Even though you're not pin summoning, it can get that card out of the way. Also too, the main effect that you're really concerned with this card is for every face-up Pendulum Monster in the extra deck, when you do battle with your opponent loses 1,000 attack points for each face-up Pendulum card. And that is very, very good, because if you have 6 face-up Pendulum cards and they have a 6,000 attack point monster, they're taking 3,000 damage. And that's something that, you know, it doesn't target. That's the main thing, and that's very, very useful, that you don't have a card that targets. You know, Odd Eyes, a lot of cards in the Odd Eyes deck target, and that's, you know, something that's detrimental. But to me, the main reason why I prefer to run Phantasm over Lancer and Advance, because they're all level 8s, and also too, he's also searchable by, you know, Melody of Awakening Dragon. He is a Pendulum Monster. That is something that can be very useful. He can still use Vortex effects, spin back into the deck, and you can still use him to be able to use other plays later down the road. Now, something that released also with Odd Eyes Advance that makes, you know, running the level 8s worth it is the new card Soul Pendulum. This, in my opinion, was specifically made for Odd Eyes, and when I say that, it makes it so that if your pen scale is whatever, you can change it up or down by 1, and that is very, very good. I like that a lot. That's something that is making it so that you're actually able to pen summon your level 8s from hand, and being able to do that makes it so that they're not that much of a problematic card anymore. Also too, the reason why I think this card is good, the bottom effect, the last effect of being able to get a second pendulum or something, I wouldn't worry about that. That's too slow for the deck. You know, the deck is a very controlled OTK type-ish deck. It's not going to be something that you're going to be trying to take in turn 3 and trying to get a second pendulum summon. If you're trying to get a second pendulum summon, it is good, but if you're having to do that, you're losing. So that's something that you really don't want to worry about. But the one that says for each pendulum summon you have while this card is on the field, all your pendulum monsters gain 300 attack. That's something that, you know, can really put a threat on board, because if you have 4 pendulum monsters out there and you've been able to pen summon for 4, and you actually got this on the field, for every Odd Eyes that's like that, that's a very big boost. You're looking at OTK range without even doing anything. A lot of people look over that and think that's not much, but to me, that's a very good effect that can really help you out a lot. This is a one of. I don't really see this in competitive play of it, but if you decide to run any of these 3 in your Odd Eyes deck, it is an option that you can have, you know, to make it so that you can run these cards a little bit easier, and if they weren't be stuck in the hand and be real clunky, things like that. But that is it for this video, guys. You know, leave a comment in the comment section below. Let us know what you think of each of these level 8 Odd Eyes cards. Which is the best to you? Which do you find to be more resourceful for your play style? Or do you like to run all 3 of them? Leave a comment in the comment section below. We love you guys. Thank you for all your support. We're out.